And into the mailbag straight away, boys. There's only a few. A little bit of a quiet week. Everyone's out Christmas shopping, I think.
Yeah.
So, hi, Kramer. I'd like to ask the question about ramp cost. I know you can get a yearly ticket, but it's only for that one ramp. Why don't they allow a yearly ticket to cover all ramps from Western Port to Port Phillip Bay? Thanks, Eddie. Eddie, I think you should be Premier of the state. Isn't it a complicated system? And for Eddie and maybe plenty of other people that don't understand, virtually every boat ramp is run by a different authority. So on our side of the bay, and I'll ask you about yours in a sec, Mick, but on our side you look at, say, Patterson River is run by Parks Victoria. You go down to Frankston, it's run by Frankston Council. You go down to Mornington, it's run by the Mornington Peninsula Shire. You get down to Martha Cove, it's run by the Martha Cove Development. You get to Anthony Nose at Dramana, it's run by a committee of management. You get
already it's too hard.
The next one's Tookarook, run by another committee of management. Then you get down to Rye, it's the Shire. You get down to Tyrone, it's a committee of management again. Get down to Sorrento, you know where I'm headed? That's only a little bit. Mick, what about over your side?
Yeah, well, we're very lucky down our way because most of the boat ramps in the city of Greater Geelong are free and they're fantastic facilities. We've got St Helens, Limeburners, Clifton Springs, St Leonards. Free, and they're great facilities. Then you get down to Queenscliff, which is run by the Borough of Queenscliff, and that's a $10 a day parking, or I think it's $160 a year. It was
$10 over our side in 1978.
Now it's about 20.
Yeah.
And you've got to realise that ramp at Queenscliff, which is the one that you have to pay for, is probably the worst of all the facilities. There's no cleaning facilities. There's only a 2-lane ramp, and you can imagine how busy that gets in summer. And they really need to look at it down there because they're making a lot of money out of it. They need to be
talking to the Geelong Council or Shire or whatever's going on.
Why don't we get Geelong Council to manage the rest of Port Phillip Bay?
They are getting it done.
And they're fantastic facilities. Limeburners and St Helens, which are the Geelong in basically the 2 city ramps, are fantastic facilities.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm astounded.
Well played, Geelong. That's unreal.
I'm moving tomorrow. Any jobs over there, Mick? Next one. Evening, David. I met you on Mate's Day and a great day had by all. I have a question on mind, and probably on many other Port Phillip Bay fishers. I don't seem to understand why there is a difference in slowing the netting down in Port Phillip Bay and totally stopping the netting in Western Port. Please explain. Anyway, once all the arguments are put on the table, by chance, could good operators be rotated between the 2 bays? Regards, Peter Sharp. Peter, I'm not sure whether you misunderstood what's going on in Port Phillip Bay. It might be seen as a slowdown, but netting in Port Phillip Bay must be gone by 2022, so 7 years' time. So there's a buyout period. Time will tell, boys. I think, like the first buyouts are April 2016. They're voluntary, so whoever wants to put their hand up in April 2016 can hand in their licence, get their payout, their compensation. But if there's some left in the bay, they will definitely all be out by 2022. So, Peter, it is a full ban on netting, but it's just an 8-year implementation from the last election. So there will be no netting in Port Phillip or Western Port, but there will be long lining. So eight long liners remaining. So I hope that answers your question. No netting after 2022. This is another one, Mick, and jump in here if you can. Hey, Kramer, I've been talking to the Bellarine Council about the state of St Leonards Ramp and Indented Heads Ramp and Point Richards Ramp on how shallow the need to be dredged and maintained at a safe depth for boats. As on windy days of 3 days of wind, you get sand build up and they don't ever check them and maintain them. To make them aware, they need a dredge so us boaties can use them. I made a point they hardly get dredged, as this winter my other boat I had was hitting the sand. If you remember, I wrote to you, David, and you spoke about it on your show at the time. This is the response I got from them, which I think is poor form. It said, "Thanks, Phil. This is the council. Thanks, Phil. As much as we would love to do this, unfortunately, we cannot dredge all these areas all year round as it costs money and our budget is limited. We do manage 17 kilometres of coastline with 92% of our income derived from our holiday parks. This money needs to be allocated across a range of services, including boat ramp maintenance, coastal protection, asset management, cleaning and maintenance of public toilets, halls and camping facilities, vegetation management, landscaping, cleaning up rubbish, erosion mitigation and other such works." And I can tell you, Phil ain't happy.
Exactly why the boat ramps need to be managed by one authority. That's simple.
And you've got to remember, again, those boat ramps are free.
Yep.
You know, there's no... St Leonards and Indented Head is with our summer southeasterlies and easterlies, they are shocking ramps when the wind gets up in the afternoon because it blows straight in on. Point Riches has always been a bit of an issue with the sand that moves around there. But I think if, you know, we've got to be happy that we're not paying for these ramps, and if we're going to have major work wanting to be done on those, they're going to want to charge you to use them.
And we get it. The more people that can use the ramps, the more money, you know, in the long term gets pumped into that economy and that for that local council. But we understand it's got to go everywhere. Exactly why it needs to be managed by one authority. If that was out of that shire or that council's hands, everyone's happy. The money from the boat ramps supporting, whether it be by fishing, launching fees, parking fees, whatever, at least we can find out somehow from them where the money's going. Whereas they're trying to filter all this money throughout the whole shire or the whole council. Something's got to give. It's unfortunate that it seems to be the boat ramps that are at the loss in most of them.
My opinion is all managed by one authority in the whole of Port Phillip and Western Port. No ramp fees, but there's a levy of some sort on your boat rego, or your boat licence, or your trailer rego. You know, there's three sources of revenue that are totally about boats, where the money shouldn't be going to road taxes because you're already paying it through your car. Boat licence, boat rego, trailer rego. There should be an allocation of that money that goes to the one single authority to maintain and upgrade boat ramps.
And I'm sure
no doubt about it.
Majority of the people wouldn't mind paying that little bit extra on those, knowing that they can go down to any of their local ramps and be able to launch and retrieve on any tide or through any conditions.
If you'd like to write to me or these blokes, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramers Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing for talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, 'cause this is the show. We'll show